morning, District Court, Defendant Lapi, number 3. Welcome to AC32!
I like the timing on that. The way you went like, and then you stop. It's like a jump cut, but you said it in real time.
What?
I need earplugs.
Prosecutor Von Karma, you mean?
Oh, I heard it's a successor this time.
Successor? Manfred Von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, all so he could win. Like when he zapped me to death.
He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 years long.
We already did this. Why is he explaining it again?
Recap.
What if you didn't play the first game?
No, he already did this exact thing in this game.
It's a recap.
Oh, 5 minutes ago.
What if you didn't play the rest of the game? You opened up somebody's save file to this part of the game.
Then they deserve to be confused.
Who knows what sort of dirty tricks he had used to get each of these guilty verdicts. And now, his successor. I wonder what kind of a person they will turn out to be.
It's no good.
Mystic Maya!
Pearly! You showed up. Thanks for coming all this way.
I was really worried about you!
Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together?
Mother's watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks.
Huh? And you came all by yourself?
Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed a map.
Don't tell me you walked all the way here.
Of course not. I ran.
If it takes 2 hours by train, oh man.
Pearly! What about the train?
Huh? What's a train?
That doesn't make sense. She doesn't know what it means at all. And so she would mispronounce what she just said?
That's what kids do.
No, they do not.
If you don't remember what kids are like.
Well, I never was around kids. Because I was a kid.
I give up.
It's time, isn't it?
I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? Like, electrocute me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma.
Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that?
He's Nick's rival. His name is Edgeworth. Well, he's also a friend, sort of. He's not mean to me like Nick. I still remember them as though I'd seen them only yesterday. Every trial was scorchingly fierce between them until the very end. He was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life...
Maya! Please don't mention that name ever again!
What? Why?
I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone. And he's not coming back.
He died? What?
exactly. Mr. Lincoln got robbed. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway.
Nick! June 21st in the morning, District Court, courtroom number 2.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and defense prepared?
What is it with this kid?
Mr. Wright! Are you prepared?
Yeah. Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me?
Mr. Phoenix Wright? You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct?
Hold on. So she's the famous successor to Prosecutor Von Karma?
I'm Franziska Von Karma, the prodigy.
I see.
I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge.
Sounds more like someone you're at a rave with.
Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred Von Karma?
If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Oh!
I'm tonguing.
It's going to be difficult to jump between voices.
If you keep interrupting again, my whoops will be doing the speaking for me.
Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. Thank you.
It's an extra meaning because it says voice acting.
Yow! Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please.
Does the Von Karma blood only have one fate? And that is perfection. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch.
Very well. What is the defense's position?
Your Honor?
Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes.
Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before I change this plea. That's alright. I'll have you running for that justified self-defense play in no time.
Justified self-defense.
This is gonna be rough, especially if it gets to where that one girl's a witness.
A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but the defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Somebody's dying in the courtroom right now.
Sorry, I've been smoking a lot lately.
Just to plead justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone.
How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call my first witness,
She's just as scary as her father. Father like daughter, I suppose.
She's very intimidating with her party voice.
Witness, your name and occupation?
Yes, sir. My name's Dick Gumshoe, and I'm a detective at the local precinct.
Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder.
Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows, and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room.
What were they doing in there?
They were channeling a spirit, sir.
Channeling a spirit?
That's quite a lot of disbelief there, Your Honor.
Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke down the door and rushed into the room.
That's when they found the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over. So, how was the victim killed?
I was about to get to that.
Stop wasting my time then. To go get my coffee.
The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used a pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing.
So the victim was stabbed before being shot.
This is the victim's autopsy report, sir.
The court accepts into evidence Mr. Wright. You may now question the witness. I'm assuming it comes into play later, but why hasn't Phoenix gotten the chance to say that there was 2 gunshots? Does Phoenix not know?
No one's brought it up.
The murder weapon? Detective Gumshoe, whose pistol was it?
It was the victim's.
The victim? Now, why would he have...
Why would he have the pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start.
Fingerprints? There were fingerprints?
Along with the victims. The defendant, Maya Faye's fingerprints were also on the grip, sir.
So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon?
It walked right into her hands there. Point blank, huh? So, how far away is that?
It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away.
How do you know he was shot at point blank?
Mr. Phoenix Wright. I got tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country.
Excuse me?
Gunpowder burn.
Gunpowder burn?
When something is shot from point blank, it burn areas left around the bullet hole.
gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead.
Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess.
How did the lawyer not know that? That's the question I ask myself every time
Phoenix?
I play this case.
Phoenix never wanted to be a lawyer. He hates his job, remember?
I guess.
Stabbed? And he was stabbed? And what was he stabbed with?
Yeah, he was stabbed with a fruit knife.
I see. Whose knife was that?
It looks like it belongs to the Fays, sir. And of course, Maya Fay's fingerprints are all over it.
All over it.
This does not look good.
Wahaha! What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
How severe was the wound?
If it had been half of an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand.
This testimony makes it sound like Maya had stabbed him with the intent to kill. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot?
Yup, sure as sure can be. One look at the wounds and you'd come to the same conclusion too, pal.
A fool is a fool who only listens to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter, then, which was first? Think a little before you open that big mouth of yours, Phoenix, right?
What a pain.
That's enough. We've clearly established how the victim was murdered.
I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today.
Okay. The court accepts him into evidence.
The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time.
And the 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them. This does seem like an open and shut case.
Naturally.
This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme.
And overwhelming.
Overwhelmingly oversimplifying.
Your Honor, feel free to slam that little guttle of yours. After all, there's no room left for doubt, is there?
That is quite true, Mr. Wright.
Yes.
Even in the face of all this, you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. You're going down.
See, just as I promised, Mr. Wright, you would change your plea in less than 10 minutes.
What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. He's asking them to use their immunity idol. This is your final chance.
This is a huge decision. I'd better think this through all the way.
Wait, why are they giving me the choice? I don't know.
You gotta think it through.
I mean, obviously she did it, but the question is if she did it self-defense.
But you're supposed to believe in your client.
If Maya is convicted, then it's all over. I really should play it safe and try to soften the blow. Your Honor! The defense would like to change its plea to justified self-defense.
Ha!
Understood. Let the record show that the defense has entered a new plea.
There's nothing else I can do. Mia!
You already hold the key. If you don't believe, you cannot win.
But I do believe Maya. But we can't pretend that Maya's not Maya. Just because she got whatever taken over, she's still Maya technically in the court of law. We just have to say like, yeah, ghost. And she became Ghost Maya for a second. You can't really blame her.
She had a dream.
If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined, and she'll be labeled a murderer. Can I really let that happen? Your Honor!
What?
The defense retracts its previous statement, and instead will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the defendant is not guilty!
You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective!
Yes, sir.
Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike.
Yes, sir.
Now, see here, proceedings are run by... Ah! Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony.
I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence.
Sorry, pal. There's even more incriminating pieces of evidence. This is the costume that the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this.
This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir.
I see. The court accepts it into evidence. All right, Mr. Wright.
Maya's fingerprints are both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes.
Couldn't they take a picture of Maya and then compare it to the pictures of that Lotta Hart took and show that they're clearly two different people? Somehow. Wouldn't that cause some kind of confusion in the case? Some reasonable doubt?
Maybe.
People don't usually shapeshift.
But in Ace Attorney universe, it seems to be assumed guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, but I was just saying, if you look at a picture and they're two different people, that should be a little bit concerning.
Could this situation get any worse?
Bah! What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of the testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Wright.
Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing.
She did stop.
He doesn't like Mr. Wright either. He's supposed to be Mr.
Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier.
You're kind of scary today, you know, pal.
Come on now, Mr. Wright. There's no need for that kind of attitude in my court.
What?
All right. Please stop glaring at me like that. Can we crack him on the fact that it's a costume?
Maya's costume?
Yeah, she was wearing this when we arrested her.
Maya, she's wearing her channeling costume today. Too. Is she not allowed to wear anything else?
How do we know it's blood, not ketchup?
There's blood on the costume.
Lab results shows the victim's blood.
So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes.
Definitely not good. So, were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence?
Well...
If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Let's move on.
Ah, yes. Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct.
What's that?
Even the judge is on our side.
The tone in his voice.
I don't know. If I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder.
Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There's no way for you to poke a hole in it.
Darn. Looks like my time is up. So about the costume. Your Honor! Actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence.
What?
What are you talking about, pal?
Where is this problem you are talking about?
I've come this far, there's no turning back now. I think I know what it is. Hole.
Man, they really fake it too, don't they?
I noticed it when they first started. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume.
It's a lot easier now that you can play the game on TV, but I remember when I played it on the DS way back in the day, it took me forever to find that hole.
I tend to give you a hint with the judge saying,
Yeah,
poke a hole in this evidence.
And then this version, they just put your thing right over it, basically. Put your cursor. The sleeve? There is a tiny hole here.
The hole, but that wasn't in the report.
Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder.
You sniffing it?
Gunpowder?
Why
Why are you sniffing it, Judge? No one ever told me.
Just picturing if you see a hole in a cloth in a courtroom with blood all over it, why would you go?
Judge's an eccentric guy.
A hole that smells of gunpowder?
Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that the hole must be a bullet hole.
Order! 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 This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else.
Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir.
Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding?
Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds up. Continue with your testimony that just now was a fluke, nothing more.
How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight!
Well, I agree, it is a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find more definitive problem with the evidence, then...
No way!
Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't fighting back. How do you know if he was or wasn't?
We could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal.
So, did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around the murder change drastically.
We're in real trouble now. If only I had something to prove that the victim did fight back. That Von Karma! She thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone! Well, I'll find a critical contradiction somehow, and then I'll have her!
So I could have just thrown it at him. Oh, yeah. It didn't stop.
Your Honor, this statement clearly contradicts the evidence!
What? He tried to stop it.
Really?
Yes, stop it.
Whoops, that didn't win me any points from the judge.
Wait, did I? Oops. Okay, let's go through this annoying dialogue again.
Use the probe then.
Why would I? We already talked about the robe.
Detective Dick Gumshoe!
Yeah? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling.
You said that my client killed a person who was without a doubt not fighting back.
Not fight back.
Yeah, I did.
Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean?
What does it mean?
I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is that what it means to not fight back?
You're right.
It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything.
All right. The wind seems to be shifting. What's with that? Are you finished? What? Yeah.
Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Miss Von Karma.
It seems that Maya Fey was shot by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea.
That is correct.
But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty.
It's ridiculous.
Why, that's right.
Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all.
No!
Well, that is true.
Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense.
Huh? How so?
Ah!
Don't just stand there! Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information that we have acquired added in, of course.
You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Ah! Yes, sir. Right away, sir. During the channeling, the defendant saw a chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it.
This scenario you've put together does make sense.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Wright.
On the surface, it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily.
Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Makes me very uncomfortable. Now then, you may cross-examine the witness.
There's quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Added body strength, it seems unlikely that the defendant could have stabbed the victim.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess.
You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Karain channeling technique? The medium physically changes.
Everybody just passes it differently.
With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor.
I don't believe it. She even studied up on the current channeling technique.
Like I said before, I'm perfect.
About what you were talking about, I don't understand. Never mind. Let's continue.
Poor judge, now I feel bad for her.
So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him.
But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad.
How badly hurt would you say he was?
Actually, I went to give blood the other day. Afterward, I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness. Ah! Sorry.
Where in the world did that pistol come from?
Looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically bought it for that day.
But a handgun?
He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder.
Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made in...
Sorry, pal, but I think that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired.
Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. Maya has never fired a gun before in her life!
The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it just by pulling the trigger, wimpo.
Even me? I wonder...
Do you want to kill, don't you?
Now do you understand? If Von Karma's logic is perfect.
His testimony certainly makes us look very bad. There's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it! What did she...
Just do the rope at him again. 'Cause I don't know.
Missing the tiny hole in this costume will be the prosecution's undoing.
What do you mean?
This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this
He
costume?
didn't say point blank. He said, like, because they were close, he missed, which really could mean anything.
Gunpowder burn?
This is what you testified earlier. When something is from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole.
Oh. That was a bad impersonation of me, pal.
It's harder than I thought to do impersonation of somebody while doing impersonation. But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume.
That is a very good point. And what exactly does it mean?
It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other.
It's a good point, but the judge doesn't understand what it means.
I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you could punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away.
Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking.
Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then that they were separated that he fired. How was that?
As if that was even possible. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have the strength to push the defendant very far very far after that.
Well, then, that's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away after stabbing him. She must have put some space in between the doctor and herself. And then while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took a shot. There? That should satisfy even you.
That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
You must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think.
Wait, what? Either one of these should make sense. What? I don't understand. What does this choice even mean?
So, do you
Von Karma's argument.
Do you disagree with her argument or not?
Who knows? We weren't in the room. All this is a bunch of people asking what might have happened.
Say something doesn't make sense. I think I know where he's going with this. There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor!
Fatal.
Oh, yowie.
Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation.
There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make a final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts that line of thinking. Actually, I don't know where it's going. Because I thought that they were going. She was saying that he pushed him down. But if she's just saying that he pushed him apart, I don't know.
No option to save. Okay, we got this.
A bowling string would make sense. If it's because he's supposed to be down on the floor and he's firing up at her. It wouldn't have hit the string at the bottom, it would hit at the top.
Where would the sleeve of the robe be if she was raising the to strike, like Von Karma said?
Yeah. So maybe just use the robe again? Maybe use the folding thing. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic!
What is that? Did he hold on? How does this work? Did he just like reach down under his desk and pull out a giant folding screen?
Yeah.
Throw it in the middle of the courtroom and say, "Take a look at that."
Well, maybe he shows a picture of the folding screen.
Is that a folding screen?
I'd like to point towards the tension to the hole in the folding string.
Hold on, the judge needs to get down and sniff it and see if it smells like gunpowder.
It looks like
Something like a baby sheep.
It looks like you already know what I'm talking about.
Who? Where? What?
Mr. Wright, your explanation, please.
Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding string. It passed through the height approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low on the ground.
Or down! This changes everything!
Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired his shot. And the bullet hit this folding screen. I take it the location about 8 inches off the ground. At the time, the defendant... How are you supposed to know where the defendant was?
I don't know, about right here? Anywhere?
Think through it logically.
She was right here. I don't know. How bad of a shot is he?
Well, the folding screen shot was 8 inches off the ground, right? And it went through her sleeve and hit the folding screen, right?
Yeah.
But where's your sleeve? She could have been extending her arm out.
There's no gunpowder burn on it.
So it had to be far.
That's the screen, maybe? I don't know. I have no idea. Somewhere around here! Uh-oh. The judge's face is scrunched like he just smelled some serious bad breath. That is, I mean...
Wait! I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up.
Oh, sure.
In the meantime, I want you to think things through again, Mr. Wright.
You might want to save now before it gives you the that takes away the option.
I don't know where to save. I don't want to save over that one.
Save over 4.
I want to have options to go back.
What's done is done.
I don't know. I
I
did this, right?
Yeah.
Just press the hole on the screen. I don't know.
I think she was right here. I'm trying to think. If he's sitting here, it depends what she's doing with her arms.
Yeah.
You're overthinking it.
Because my guess would have been right here, because that's where they were. Why?
What's that
What is
then?
she getting up for? Did she have to go to the bathroom? Like what?
They got in an altercation.
So she'd be like, here? Isn't this where I put it?
That's where you put it last time.
It's over here?
Sure.
Try it.
Just try something. She's standing here, near the folding screen. That's right. It doesn't make much sense. You wouldn't be able to judge from the...
You can't just... This is playing
There was no
make-believe.
gunpowder burn on the
So-
rope, so it
They're
had
all
to be
playing
further away.
make-believe!
Who cares if they're playing make? You gotta use evidence to figure out.
Okay, but like, where Seth pointed is just as valid as there.
Yeah.
No, it couldn't have been that close because there would have been a burn on the robe.
That wasn't that close. How close is too close? That's what they should have established.
Yeah. They didn't establish that. They just said if it's point blank, then it'll...
Yeah, they should have told you about how many, like, feet you have to be close to someone in order to cause a burn.
Wait a second! We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that?
Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much...
That's what I'm thinking! Is it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim?
That's impossible!
But you said...
I was using it as a rhetorical question.
Why?
of all people should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma.
But I don't!
If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder birds present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume.
Ah! Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you!
I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? Probably not, but sure.
Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at this time?
Squatting all the way by the folding screen?
Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike?
On further consideration, it does make very little sense.
Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason.
Figuring things out by proving the logic behind everything is your job!
Oof. Big oof.
Alright! With this, the rest of the trial should be a last ridiculous, radius disaster.
You're such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take this completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had such a hard time with you. You amuse me.
Well, thanks to inherit, why did you have to be that smarmy smile?
Detective! How dare you damage my perfect logic?
Huh? How's it all my fault?
You start repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured, your punishment will come later.
Punishment?
Well then, Your Honor, I think I have had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness.
Next witness? That's gotta be Lotta!
Okay. The court will now take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness.
To be continued. Next time on Ace Attorney!
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be.